SNP members to the European Parliament, and to make sure that in 2024 Scotland participates in those European elections as a full sovereign member of the Partnership of Equals.
My right honourable friend, the Secretary of State, was in Scotland last week, and the opinion in Scotland is very divided on this issue, as it is in the rest of the United Kingdom. And he will appreciate, as a Democrat, that the vote in 2016 was a national vote, a United Kingdom vote, and we are pledged to respect the majority result, which was to leave the European Union.
Fairness.
Mr. Speaker.
The assessment, Mr. Speaker, would depend on the counterfactual as to what it's measured against, and those were considered in the economic analysis that was put out in November. Fairness.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Many of my constituents in Sheffield, Brightside and Hillsborough contact me regularly with their wide-ranging views on Brexit. Can the Secretary of State reassure them that they would be no worse off if we did leave without a customs union and without the elusive trade deal the Secretary of State for International Trade has failed to deliver, despite stating it was the easiest in human history to negotiate? Yeah.
Well, there is nothing elusive, Mr. Speaker, as to the actual text that is in the political declaration, and that makes clear that the government can negotiate the benefits of a customs arrangement alongside an independent trade policy, and the economic analysis shows that that is the best way forward of the options open to the government.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On Monday, the Secretary of State's two predecessors, 11 other former Cabinet Ministers and the chair of the 1922 committee wrote to the Prime Minister urging her, and I quote, to reject a customs union solution with Labour. Clearly many Cabinet Ministers agree with them. Does he?
Well, I've been clear throughout that we have an approach which I think is the best way forward. There are conflicting views in all the parties. There are, as he well knows, on his own front bench. We are discussing this with the bench opposite in order to try and seek a way forward on behalf of the House which will allow us to deliver on the referendum result. My position, if you ask about my personal position, has always been clear, which is we made a manifesto commitment in terms of the single market and customs union, and that was clear in the manifesto. But we are trying to look at how we deliver on the referendum result, and I think, as my opposite member would say, those discussions are ongoing. Blomfield.
I guess that might have come close to a suggestion that he does agree with those who are opposing his Prime Minister's position. But this is, after all, the Secretary of State who voted with those two predecessors against his own government's proposal on extending Article 50, even after he had recommended it to the House. So I think we do deserve some clarity on these issues. The authors of Monday's letter also said of any agreement that is reached, quote, no leader can bind his or her successor, so the deal would likely be, at best temporary, at worst illusory. Does he agree with that?
Mr. Speaker, it is not a revelation to this House that I supported leaving in the referendum, that I still support leaving,